Okay, we're going to be reviewing Red Dwarf every episode.
Every episode.
Of the first 6 seasons. The original classic run.
The Golden Bubble. Yeah. 36 episodes. The good episodes.
1988 till 1993. So the first episode is the end. And it's pretty bad compared with what it will become. But
it's pretty good when compared with the original shoot.
Yes. And also, it's pretty good compared with most other 80s British sitcoms.
Yeah, except for The Young Ones and Blackadder.
Yes. The typical British sitcom.
But how does it compare against the rest of season 1?
Yeah, it will be pretty...
it's better.
It will be pretty strong.
Well, there's a couple of episodes that are much better.
Actually, you know what? It'll go to...
Oh, that's harsh.
But
I would have left it in C.
I adore Future Echoes.
Well, everyone does.
Because
it's universally beloved.
It really is the true pilot of the show, because it's saying, let's take a science fiction concept and use it as a device to create comedy. It is the template of the entire rest of the franchise.
Do you remember when this was made in the production timeline?
It was last?
No.
No?
Second last.
Second last.
Second last? I think it was I think it was the 5th one that they wrote and shot. And then they realized it was so good, put it in second.
Yep. Continuity errors be damned.
Yeah, that's true. It does have continuity issues, but yeah, it's really A. It's really good.
Yeah, I adore it.
Yeah.
So Balance of Power.
It's terrible. It's shit.
Balance of Power
F.
is
the worst episode
look,
of the bubble.
I can't defend it, but I sort of like the idea in concept.
I want my own nipple back.
I like the idea in concept of Lister and Rimmer fighting over for control of the ship, even though the ship isn't very valuable and nothing actually matters. And Lister becoming a chef doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah.
It's just sort of petty squabbling. It's the classic 2 male leads of a sitcom fighting over their tiny bit of power.
Do you know how this episode came about?
How?
Because the higher-ups wanted a classic episode of a sitcom, not this sci-fi nonsense. Do something with no sci-fi that's just a typical sitcom, and Rob and Doug hated it, and then Future Echoes let them go wild doing classic sci-fi concepts, and it was so much better.
Yeah.
And from that point on, they never looked back. We're just doing sci-fi.
I've heard some people say that this is the only Red Dwarf episode to have 0 science fiction concepts.
Probably.
Apart from holograms.
And Dear Dave.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, Waiting for God.
It's also not great.
I have a weird relationship with this because I didn't watch it.
You missed this one.
It was not on the reruns, so I don't.
You've only watched it recently.
I've only watched it like twice in my whole life.
And yet I keep quoting from it.
And
so what else is new?
It's not burnt. It's not burnt into my brain in the same way everyone else is.
So you're telling me they had a war over the color of the?
It's kind of a atheistic.
It is kind of atheistic, yeah.
Kind of just declaring hostility to religion.
There's not a lot of subtlety.
Yeah, and then there's no greater point to it. Also,
the subplot's pretty good with Rimmer and the garbage pod.
Yeah. The garbage pod is great.
Quagga.
And the problem is that it's obviously a setup for what will become the future movie special, even though
the future movie special,
the movie that came out a few years ago,
The Promised Land.
Land.
Yes, it is a setup for The Promised Land.
But there's no relationship. Promised Land is not taking what existed in Waiting for God and
Yeah. Then we have Craig Ferguson.
Oh yes.
Gets high up just because of Craig Ferguson.
So this is the first episode of what will be many, 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 many episodes where it's basically just doing a psychoanalysis of one or both of our main leads.
Yes.
And it's brilliant.
And also the first of many episodes by creating the guest stars out of people's brains.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody to meet out in deep space when we're in a lonely universe. So we just have to keep making guest stars out of our own minds.
So this idea that Red Dwarf is just a great big inner psychological study of the mind, the ego, it's sort of fascinating the way that the loneliness of space leads to a massive deconstruction of human psychology. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put it that high. That's quite high.
Yeah.
Even with the Craig Ferguson factor. It's not well liked, this episode.
What?
No, people don't really like it. It's not as hated as the other two. But this one is well liked. Me Squared.
Me Squared
goes in the S category.
Me Squared is so great.
Well, Rimmer is created in this episode. Before this episode, he doesn't really exist. He's just a very angry man who is irritating Lister. And in this episode, the Rimmer that we know is created. The character with nuance, with tragic backstory that everybody loves. It all starts here. Red Dwarf, in a way, begins here. In a way, it's more of a season 2 episode.
Yeah.
And this episode was written after the rest of them were done. This was a late entry replacement for the Body Snatcher script that was not used, although it does take some elements from it.
Mm.
So, and also this is the beginning of another huge Red Dwarf thing, which is having the actors perform with themselves, having multiple versions of our character on screen. I mean, that's probably the biggest well that Red Dwarf likes to go to, again because there's nobody to talk to, so we have to either talk to characters made out of our brains or just talk to ourselves. Yeah. And work the actors very hard, especially in this one, Chris Barry having to do jumping jacks twice in a row. Yeah. So, and Craig Charles doesn't know how to stand in a split screen.
Crichton.
Yeah, you love this one.
It is my favourite episode when I was a child, and there was a point where I could recite the entire episode line by line.
And it's still your favourite, isn't it?
Apart from Sirens.
You really love one particular part. You like the bit where Crichton talks about his dreams.
Oh, yes. It always makes me cry hearing Crichton talk about his garden. And
yeah, it's a good bit.
It's such a great episode in so many ways. It's world building, that this is the Red Dwarf world is a world that's sort of dead, that human civilization really doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly, that's why we have to talk to ourselves.
We've just got skeletons, and
our guest stars this week are some skeletons. One of the greatest reveals in the show's history, when we reveal the skeletons. Yeah.
And the only people who are still alive are people who have terrible mental health issues, and then Red Dwarf becomes like a massive hospital for everyone with their mental health issues to come together and try and work through it together.
It's a very bad hospital.
Yes.
We don't have a lot of success.
Rimmer, the narcissist, tries to take advantage of a situation to profit off it, and then Lister, the hero, comes through and saves the day. And then we get to see something great and fulfilling, and you start tearing up when Crichton leaves.
So, some might say that when the audience had that reaction to the skeletons, that was when Red Dwarf's future was secured.
Yes.
They might not have gotten commissioned for season 3 without that audience reaction. All right, then we have Better Than Life.
Better Than Life.
This is a weird one.
It's another Rimmer episode that
They're mostly Rimmer episodes.
That in the end, his neuroses are self-destructive.
Yeah, that's a wonderful concept.
He cannot allow himself to be happy because he's so used to being miserable that if he even has the possibility of being happy, he will self-sabotage because he's just so naturally in a state of being miserable.
We actually get to go outside in this episode.
Yes.
Although it's pretty miserable, it's kind of worse being outside.
Yes.
for the cast.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of technical issues in this episode with the over-ambition of the ideas, but it's a fun episode.
Yeah.
So where are you going to put it?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then we have Thanks for the Memory. Now this is an interesting one because for a long time this had a really bad reputation, and then in recent years, mostly thanks to Ian Symes on Ganymede and Titan. This episode has become a huge fan favorite in certain circles. It's gotten reappraised, and it's hugely beloved for how it deals with the characters. You know, in the greater tapestry of the season, it seems like a bit of a duller episode, the way Balance of Power seemed, but the way that this episode deals with the characters is hugely influential, almost as much as Me Squared, and how this episode really develops Rimmer's backstory again and his relationship with Lister. And this is a very tragic episode where Lister tries to give him a gift of a relationship, and the whole thing backfires, and everyone just is really miserable by the end. It has Rimmer being drunk, and that's an incredible scene. And it has the hologram projection box, which is very quickly abandoned.
Yeah.
And it has the drunk piloting of the blue midget back to the ship. This episode's full of amazing stuff. Yeah? Where are you going to put it?
Oh. I think I'll put it C.
Really? You can put that low? Do you not... Is this is not one that you remember as well?
It's also one I don't remember as much.
It's not one you missed, though. The next one was one you missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Stasis Leak is another one that you never saw as a child.
I think the problem with Thanks for the Memories was because the sci-fi concept was underplayed.
Well, that's one of the reasons it sort of flew by with a lot of people, but it's worth reappraising. It's worth delving into a bit more.
The idea of implanted memories is obviously a big favorite of science fiction.
Yeah.
But it was very small compared with the human element of what fake memories actually involve.
Right, so Stasis Leak, you've only watched this once?
Twice.
And do you remember anything? It has a crazy ending where we have as many split screens as possible. Everybody is there 3 times.
Yes, the hotel room and Rimmer his head popping in and out of wastebaskets, and we get to see Craig Charles play a suave jackass
Somehow.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Queeg. This is S tier, easily. Put in the S tier.
We have to talk about it first.
Yeah. Well, what's there to say about Queeg? It's magnificent. Norman Lovett's finest hour. The final lines are his favorite, and with good reason. It is. He never got to anything better than this. It'll
probably be the thing that Norman Lovett is remembered for. For the rest of his life.
But more importantly, we just lost Charles Organs just a couple of weeks ago, really sadly. Who played Queeg in this episode, and it's one of the greatest guest performances in the history of the show. And he doesn't even really exist. Again, characters that don't exist in the show. They're just copies of the main cast or figments of our imagination.
Yeah.
But isn't Queeg magnificent?
Yeah.
Isn't Charles Organs fantastic? And it's...
It's crazy that he's not an actor. He has such a forceful presence on screen.
Well, he uses that same forceful presence when he choreograph people dancing, you know? Can you imagine?
Yeah. This is such a human-centered story because it's all about Red Dwarf being the place where all of the losers just come together to sort of get by, and that's the fact.
The whole episode is just about Holly's pride being wounded.
Yeah, but Holly is one of the Dwarfers because he is such a loser.
He's just a person,
and you just sort of end up sympathizing with him and his limits.
And then parallel universe, we have Charles Organs choreographing the dance sequence of Tongue Tied, which is kind of more remembered than the rest of the episode. Maybe, unfortunately, I don't know. That's very high for parallel universe. This episode isn't that well liked.
I don't understand how.
Yeah, it's pretty good episode.
It's
some amazing guest performances. Angela Bruce as female Lister. She's universally beloved, and it's
the thing is,
some people think there are issues with the sexual politics of this episode, and
well, that's very odd because so for most of British sitcoms, they are obviously from a male point of view. Now, some of them, like Are You Being Served, try in some ways to deconstruct British manhood and British masculinity. But this is a full-scale analysis. It's really putting the spotlight on sexual politics and asking some very uncomfortable questions about what is okay and what is not okay about the way that the genders relate to each other. And I think it is just...
I do kind of think people sort of missed the point of a lot of it. I think it mostly all works.
Yeah, I think it's
I don't know if I put an A.
the way that female Rimmer uses the same sleazy moves.
Well, so one of the issues that people really bring up is that people feel that female Rimmer seems like more of a predator, more of a rapist than male Rimmer. But I don't know. I don't know if that's correct. I think that maybe people don't recognize just how creepy male Rimmer actually is. Or they also feel like he's being exaggerated at the start of this episode in order to do that. But I don't know. He's pretty horrible, especially in these first 2 seasons. Like I said, in the first season, he's terrible. And I mean, yeah.
Are we forgetting about the start of Crichton? We're not on the pool.
Yeah.
And it's like that's how men behave. They're just whenever.
But there are other moments where he's definitely even worse than that. Like in that one, he's just trying to get a date by just looking better than he is. But there's others where he does far more outrageously creepy behavior, and I think people kind of ignore it. I don't know. It's interesting. It's worth greater discussion. Let's go on to Backwards. Backwards is a fun episode.
Backwards is pretty great. We have a sci-fi concept and we just milk it for all the comedy it's worth. We try to create as many bizarre, quirky scenarios for as many laughs. It's kind of the Red Dwarf that you can just approach without any difficulty, and you can
This
just...
is why they made it the season premiere.
Yeah.
Bold new fresh start. It does kind of work on the basis of how funny you think people going backwards actually are. And it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So then we have Marooned, which is the top of
when Crichton and Rimmer talk about wanting to stay there because they're so popular, it brings up an interesting issue, which is that even though Red Dwarf is the place for all the losers to go, in the end they really would prefer to go somewhere else. There's always this idea that Red Dwarf is not really the final resting home for these people,
Well,
but
it's in
a foster home.
Well, I mean, in these days it was more like a prison.
Yes.
But in the Dave era, it really has become like their home. They no longer talk about wanting to go to... After Back to Earth, it really is kind of like they're not interested in getting back to Earth and finding another home, that like Red Dwarf is just the home. But we're not talking about the Dave era here, so...
The final episode of the Dave era, the third Dave era season, where Rimmer has the...
Skipper.
Skipper.
Yeah.
Because Rimmer wants to get out of here. And so... It's this theme that runs through the show. But anyway,
Yeah. We're not talking about the Dave era, but we're talking about Marooned, which is the best episode of the show. So put it at the top of the S tier, at the top, at the front. Yeah,
Yes.
it's the undefeated champion. It's
even though-
Marooned. It's not Back to Reality. Marooned is the best episode of British sitcom history.
even though there's not really any science fiction involved,
No.
it is just humans.
No, this is a completely
And
human script.
It goes back to the original concept of Red Dwarf. The whole idea of Red Dwarf, 2 losers trapped in outer space. They've got nothing to do but talk to each other, and so they just tell anecdotes
And it's
about...
amazing how they couldn't sustain it so well in the first season. They didn't have the characters worked out, but at this point, they do. At this point, Rimmer is so much more of a nuanced character, and also in season 3, Rimmer and Lister are kind of friends. They're not really at each other's throats. There's a little bit of bickering, but they're kind of friends now. And in this episode, they really are friends, even though he does want to kill him at the end of the episode, or
Yeah.
at least make him a eunuch.
Yeah.
So yeah, this episode is a masterclass for Chris Barry and Craig Charles, and it's got some of the best dialogue Rob and Doug ever did. It's absolutely fantastic.
It goes to show that to create a good sitcom, you don't need flashy special effects. You don't need the best jokes ever written that blow your pants off.
Although this episode does have the best jokes ever written.
You just need good characters and a convenient location,
Yeah.
and you can write a good sitcom.
Yeah, but this episode does have the best jokes, and
So
also the best ending of any episode of Red Dwarf. Chris Barry looking at all the different parts of the set again and again, and then saying, "Get the hacksaw and follow me."
Yeah.
Is the best. That is the best ending of
Yeah.
any episode of Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Polymorph, another fantastic episode. This is a really fun one. This is the first monster episode, which is
Yeah.
another thing that the show will do a lot. A big monster action adventure type. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the transition into action adventure Red Dwarf, and it's magnificent. It's a parody of Alien, and it's bonkers and ridiculous and wonderful, and
yeah.
there's lots of overly ambitious special effects, and some of them work and some of them don't. And there's a snake that doesn't work very well at
Yeah.
all.
Possibly the greatest ever joke in Red Dwarf history.
Oh yes,
with the boxer shorts.
The boxer shorts. Well, the boxer shorts is legendary. I mean, is it? I don't know. Is it more legendary than the Red Alert bulb? They're both pretty legendary. But yeah, it's yeah, it's fantastic. Then we have Body Swap. This is a personal favorite of mine. This one isn't really as loved as some of the other ones here in this season, because this is a pretty well-loved season. But I really have a soft spot for Body Swap. I loved it a lot when I was a kid, so I'd put this very high. I'd put this in A. Yeah.
It's another Rimmer episode, a rather deconstruction of his neuroses, his narcissism, his toxic self-destructive behavior.
Yeah. And on a technical level, it's a very ambitious episode.
Crazy ambitious.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't do it in front of an audience. It was too ambitious for that. Then we have Time Slides. This is another one you missed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the weak link of the season as well, so that's unfortunate that you can't really give it a fair shot.
Yeah. I don't really know much to say about this.
That's fine. It's good.
Apart from, I believe there's one of the underlying plots is another piece of Rimmer self-destruction with the bubble wrap.
They're all Rimmer episodes. I don't know. Put it in C. Yeah. Then we have The Last Day. So this is the first real Crichton episode. Crichton is really starting to form as a character now, and
this is a Crichton.
Throughout the third season, they didn't really know who the new Robert Llewellyn version of Crichton was, and he really starts to form here. And then he takes over the show in the following seasons.
Yeah. And also this is an episode that could be the finale of the show if it so happened to be.
I mean, they certainly very easily could have been. 3 seasons is a standard for British sitcoms, and I'm sure they easily imagined that could have been it. I know Robert Llewellyn definitely thought that was it. Yeah.
And we're taking another shot at Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put it?
Oh, I'll put it A.
But doesn't this one make you emotional as well, like with the first Crichton episode?
It does. It does.
With his party and him, feeling all of these human emotions and desires for the first time, and realizing there's more to live in life, and time has run out. I want more.
Yeah, I think that over the course of the whole Red Dwarf show, there is a deep philosophical discussion about the point of life, because without the human race left, there's no greater thing that can ever be achieved. We're not going to rebuild the human race. We're not going to rebuild the Earth. It's all over, and so there's no real point to any of this. There's no point of going on, but it's kind of like...
the only point is to have lived a fulfilling life.
Yes.
To have made a contribution, no matter how small.
Yes. It's kind of like Albert Camus' The Myth of Sisyphus, that life itself is the point of life.
I think that is the first time that Red Dwarf has been compared to Albert Camus. How come they never mention him in the show? They do mention quite a few philosophers.
Yeah.
They mention Descartes in the next episode.
And
Popeye,
didn't we kill
Popeye
Sartre?
Sartre. They mention Sartre.
Yeah.
All of his friends were French.
Yeah. So there's no point of living, but at the same time, you want to keep living just for its own sake. It's incredibly powerful on a philosophical level.
Yeah. Then we have another Crichton episode to open the next season, Camille, and the Valentine's Day episode. They schedule it for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And this episode has some really iconic moments. The banana scene. I mean, now Crichton really is hitting the ground, and
Yeah.
And you haven't watched Casablanca, so
No, I haven't watched
you can't
Casablanca.
truly appreciate this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Popeye the Sailor Man.
Yeah.
And Descartes. So easy to get those two mixed up. Yeah.
But this is a big feature on all the Smeg Ups because of the
yeah, the date. Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's a Mike Tucker Smeg Ups feature. That's Mike Tucker in there.
But on a philosophical level, this is also really powerful because love doesn't need a logic. There's no real point to love, it just exists for its own sake. And the fact that two creatures that should have nothing to do with each other find companionship in each other is beautiful for its beautiful pointlessness. But of course, it's a sitcom. We have to separate them because we can't end the show.
Yeah. So where are you going to put it? Whoa, you put an S tier.
Yeah.
That's high. I've never seen anyone put Camille that high. That's amazing. Okay. Well, it's your list.
Yeah. Oh my god, another one.
DNA.
Another Crichton.
Yeah. It's all Rimmer or Crichton episodes.
We get to see Robert Llewellyn's face.
Yeah, which he was very glad about because he hated being in that mask. So, and he was hoping to stay that way. Because at the end of the episode, they don't put him back.
No.
What a weird ending to this episode. And we have a RoboCop parody, and you haven't seen RoboCop either,
Nope.
so that doesn't work. And we have another monster. We have the Vindaloo monster, who's pretty great as well.
Yep.
And this has incredibly iconic moments like the Polaroid scene. And this is a great episode. Then we have Justice.
Now, Justice. What a fascinating episode. It's not as human or interpersonal as the other episodes. It's more high concepts.
Yeah, this is definitely more about the concept. And again, more action adventure, more sort of monster stuff. We have our first simulant, who are obviously the Borg.
Yep.
And you have seen Star Trek. You do know the Borg very well. You know them better than I do. So, this is a good one.
It's not world class.
No,
it's not going to
world-class.
change your life.
It's not world class.
There are some Red Dwarf episodes that will change your life.
I mean, there's no bad episodes from this point really, but it's just separating the good from the S tier.
Yeah.
White Hole, this one is pretty great. I mean, this is a great one for Hattie. It's her only real standout one, like with Queeg for Norman Lovett. She gets to do some stuff here, and Talkie Toaster comes back in a big way, and I mean, this episode is remembered hugely for a lot of Talkie's moments, and What do you think of this one?
Yeah, it's another beat here.
I'd put it higher than Justice.
Yeah, you want to put
Yeah, put it higher than Justice. Now, Dimension Jump. This is another one you missed, and this is pretty...
Which one's Dimension Jump?
This is the first Ace Rimmer. It's pretty glaring that you missed this one for most of your life, because you did see Stoke Me a Clipper, and you didn't know the origin of Ace, and you also didn't know the Good Ace episode.
Yeah.
And this is a huge episode. This is a really special one. This is massive for Rimmer's character. It's really beloved, this episode, but you don't have a strong relationship with it.
No.
But you do appreciate the concept of this, with Ace
is...
Rimmer, that Rimmer becomes a better person through getting held back, and he thinks that Ace had the breaks, but Ace had a tougher life, which made him into a better person. Rimmer has actually had a cozier life, and it has, and like that, again, talking about the philosophy, that's really interesting.
The thing is about this is that we sabotage our own source of happiness, but then we externalize it and say that the reason we're unhappy is because we didn't get this or that, or people mistreated us. But in reality, we are the own authors of our own destiny. We can shape our surroundings. But Rimmer is so miserable, and he's convinced that the reason he's miserable is because of his external...
he wants to blame it on his parents. He wants to blame it on the people around him, the fact that he's bunking with Lister, all these things, and some of them, there's truth to plenty of them. Like his parents were pretty abusive to him, his brothers were abusive to him, but he does still just focus everything just on it's just the external problems, and he doesn't try to better himself at all. And
so there is something, like doppelganger stories are always fascinating because they are...
Well, they're clearly very fascinating to Rob and Doug. They keep doing them.
They're so fascinating to the fact that we could have been different types of people depending on how.
Or alternate universes,
Yeah.
parallel universes, and
And-
we've already done one parallel universe, and
Yeah. So-
here's another one.
The fact that Rimmer is faced with the fact that he could have been brave and heroic and so amazing, and he's not a different person. He
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
same person, and it's kind of shameful
Yes,
that
it
he
is.
allowed his self-destructive behaviors to get the better of him.
It's fantastic. It really destroys him as a character. It has a terrible ending though, with
What's
the
the-
kippers. He tries to chuck some kippers on him.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
it doesn't work, and it's just a real kind of a weak ending.
It's a Looney Tunes ending. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Well, they shot a version where the kippers fall on Rimmer.
Right. That was the Looney Tunes ending.
Yeah, but they didn't use that because it didn't make sense because he's a hologram.
Yes.
But the joke doesn't make sense if you don't do that.
Yes.
So it ends up just being a really odd ending. So they decide to cut to some Hammond organ music. So at least that's quite fun.
Yeah.
Then we have Meltdown, which is this is an episode that for a long time was hated in the general fandom consensus.
Crazy.
I know, but it's turned around now. But it is an odd episode. It is unusual. It's so outdoors. It doesn't feel very sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we cut to the kaiju footage, that's quite odd. That's an odd joke.
The fact that they didn't try to make the kaiju footage line up,
Well, how could they?
I
It's
don't
just
know.
an odd idea in the first place to think that would work.
Yeah.
It's a strange episode, but it's great. It's full of amazing stuff. The Winnie the Pooh sequence
Yeah,
is
yeah.
incredible.
But
It
this
also
is-
has one of the best smeg ups ever. Stone.
Yeah.
I think the episode deserves points for the smeg ups.
But
And it has one of the greatest guest star performances of Tony Hawk's, who's already done many up to this point, but probably his best one as Caligula. I'm very cross indeed.
Yes.
And slapping Lister. This episode is marvelous.
but it's also another episode about Rimmer.
Going off the deep end.
The fact that as soon as Rimmer gets even the tiniest amount of power,
He misuses
He
it.
misuses it. It shows how deep his neuroses and his self-destructive qualities are.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, that's very high. Now, season 5. I mean, this is.
Oh boy.
This is
Another Rimmer.
This is the incredible season. So we have Hollow Ship, another Valentine's episode to open the season, and this is one of my favorites of all time. This is one of the best ever Rimmer episodes, and Jane Horrocks is the guest star. She's magnificent, and also other guest stars in the episode. I forget names, but the guy who comes on board Starbug and Lister makes fun of him. What's his name? He was the president in Doctor Who in the Cyberman story. Can't remember. Don Warrington. Don Warrington. Yeah. He's brilliant. Isn't that an amazing scene?
Yeah.
When Craig Charles eats the cigarette. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, this episode, for the emotional plot with Rimmer in this episode is incredible.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fantastic, and this is S tier easily. Yeah. And we have the Inquisitor. This is one of your favorites, isn't it?
It's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Obviously, from a personal point of view, the idea of having the Inquisitor visit you when you've spent your whole life just struggling to get by, and you haven't really had a chance to spread your wings is very scary.
Yeah.
This is really tapping into a deep paranoia that I think a lot of people have.
Well, this whole season is like each episode pretty much is full of deep philosophy and character, but also incredible high concept sci-fi ideas, mixing them together. Sometimes it's a high concept, sometimes it's a character episode, and I think why this season is so stand out is they marry the two perfectly.
Yes.
And yeah, this is a big high concept, but also it has a lot of deep ideas to unpack.
Also, there's the personal element of Crichton and Lister running for their lives.
And it's a development from what happened in The Last Day, where Crichton realized that that he actually wants to live his life, and now because of that he has a life to lose.
Yes.
Otherwise he wouldn't have been judged by the Inquisitor. Lister has broken him. And this has been developing over the course of the show. Yeah, yeah, and we get to see the alternate version of Lister and Crichton, more alternate doppelgangers of each other, and we get to kill everyone,
Yeah.
which is always fun and
Yep.
quite brutally.
Yep.
And yeah, an incredible guest performance
Yeah.
from the Inquisitor in this episode, and yeah, is this S tier? I think
This is
it's
S tier,
they're all
yeah.
S tier.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to
Yeah.
keep anything away from S tier from now on.
Well, there's a couple, but Terraform, so another Rimmer episode. This is
Once again, I get the 2 episodes confused.
and I talk about creating things out of people's minds. I mean, this whole episode is just inside Rimmer's mind. We just make a whole planet that is all the worst parts of his mind, and all these creatures, all these monsters that are made out of his mind,
Yeah.
and all played by Chris Barry, and incredible monster, the beast.
Yeah.
I don't get to see much of it. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
A Mike Tucker special.
Yeah.
And great set pieces, great location filming, just everything is fantastic. And everyone trying to be nice to Rimmer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic scene.
Yeah. A totally recreatable moment when Crichton says, "I think we should get some sort of 4-way hug situation going."
Yeah, it's magnificent.
Yeah.
No, not S tier.
No, it's A
Well,
tier.
put it at the start of A. Start of A tier. Then we have Quarantine. This is another huge one, another fan favorite. Mr. Flibble is
Yeah.
an incredibly iconic character. We've got the Mr. Flibble puppet. It's he's wonderful.
So
It's another Rimmer sort of. It's
more of
not
a Lister and
yeah.
Crichton.
It doesn't really go into Rimmer's character, but he's a big feature of it.
Yeah.
He's a villain.
The thing is, of all the characters, the 2 people who like each other the most are Lister and Crichton. And here is an episode that's designed to drive them apart.
yeah.
Because even that relationship has a breaking point.
Yeah. We all knew we could leave at any time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the potato people, incredible scene. The magic carpet.
Yeah. Yeah.
The king of the potato people. It's an incredible scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here's the weak link of the season: Demons and Angels.
Like, the concept is fantastic.
Isn't
The
it?
execution is
well,
poor.
the concept is too big
Yeah.
for the show.
Should have been a 2-parter.
Well, they don't do 2-parters.
I know.
But the concept is overly ambitious because you've got 2 sets of doppelgangers of the crew.
Yeah. We only get to spend like 5 minutes on
and
both
we
of the
kill
ships.
them very quickly,
Yeah.
and but also each set of the crew are very like they're just really extreme kind of one-note jokes versions of, but it's still magnificent. Like it's compared to most sitcoms, this is stand out. I mean, it's a fun action adventure romp. It's full of great lines. It's this whole place is a shrine to everything that's base.
Yeah.
It's full of magnificent moments. It's just when it's in this series of Red Dwarf, and it's particularly in 5, it really stands out as not being quite as deep and nuanced as all the other episodes. But it's still great. I mean, I'd still put it in. I put it in B.
But
Yeah.
the what are they called? The angels? The
highs.
The highs. They're like goody two shoes.
Yeah.
They're
They're
too
wankers.
nice. And the fact that they are deserving of mockery kind of makes you wonder about the psychology of the 2 creators. The fact that they consider these group of people worthy of mockery. Oh, you read poetry and you dance and you're so clean. And you kind of wonder, Rob and Doug maybe are a little bit nasty.
Maybe
toward-
that's your particular
that's my
your
theory.
particular theory about this episode. I've never heard anyone else say it, but
But when you think about that episode that's deeply hated in the Dave era,
which one?
the one that's
that one.
the one that's the worst of the worst.
It's the worst episode of Red Dwarf.
It's also making fun of weak, pathetic pansies.
Okay, but that episode is widely thought of for that particular reason by the fandom, but people don't think that about Demons and Angels. So what does that mean?
I don't know.
I'd still put it in B.
You want to put
It's
it?
still-
Okay.
It's still really good. Now back to reality, which is universally considered to be the best episode of the entire show. It's wrong. It's actually the second best.
It's up there. It's
You
not,
don't like this one.
Okay, let me run through like the fundamental concept that you are living your life and you are convinced that you're a good person. You think that you are doing the right thing, and then suddenly you find out that no, that was all a lie that you had been telling yourself. In reality, you're a bad person, and that breaks you on an ethical level to the point where you decide to take your own life. I love that. I think it is very confronting on a philosophical level too, because our own sense of moral identity is kind of fundamental to keeping us alive, and so when you break it, there's nothing really left to stand on, and you're ruined psychologically, ethically, as a person. That's great. I love it. I adore it.
Yeah.
The bad part is the fact that they don't really have a choice to wake up. It's forced on them because Holly's the one who wakes them up, and so...
Well, then I guess in that respect, Back to Earth is the better version of the story. You famously hate Back to Earth. Back to Earth seems to solve all your problems. Wow. A pity we're not ranking that today. But it's magnificent. It's an incredible finale. You know, if this was the last episode of the show, that'd be incredible.
It would have been a great final episode of the show.
And at one point it was going to be the first episode of the season, and that would have been crazy. But they quickly realized that it's perfect to put it last. I don't think they quite realized what they had initially, and I mean it's a hugely shocking moment that can't be appreciated anymore. But when it aired, the moment of them waking up, dying and then waking up, and people watching for the first time thinking this is it. It was all a dream. The whole thing, it's an incredible moment, and
life on Mars sort of
moment.
Yeah,
life on Mars, and. And set pieces. I mean, the underwater set pieces, and the car chase. Isn't the car chase one of the funniest things they ever did? It's fantastic. I think the only thing is it's a shame they didn't use the music cue from Howard Goodall on the car chase. He wrote a music cue that is scoring the scene as if it is an epic action-adventure movie, and I think that just makes it funnier to put that music over their ridiculous performance of that concept. I think that makes it even funnier. So, but yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. Now we have one of your all-time favorites, Sirens.
So I obviously have a soft spot for Sirens because it's the first episode of the show that I ever watched, and I believe I watched it at the time when it was put over to Australia. Or it might have been a rerun.
I think it was probably a rerun. What year do you think it was?
It would have been 95 or 96.
I think it'd be a rerun.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't start. Yeah, that was about the time I started watching the show as well. And this wasn't the first one I saw, but it was pretty early for me as well. And I think we both watched it many times. Rewatched it. I taped this one, and it was one of the few I had on tape, so I watched it again and again. So we can just quote this whole episode from back to front, and it's fantastic.
Another fantastic sci-fi concept. Like, Red Dwarf is reaching the point where every single episode is just a terrific sci-fi concept.
Each episode is its own fantastic sci-fi movie, but instead we've just done it in half an hour.
Yeah.
Each one of these could be a great movie, and we've just wasted it on a sitcom. But it's a whole new concept for Red Dwarf. It's a whole new, a different style. We're now in Starbug. We don't have Red Dwarf. There's no Holly. Sad losing Hattie, but I really love this season. This season gets a bit of a bad rap. Some people don't like this season compared to the previous one. And I think it's pretty much on the same par as 5 for me. It's a very different season, and I love how different it is. It's very claustrophobic. It's very dangerous. I really like Red Dwarf when it's dangerous. I like when there's genuine peril, and I feel like this season is one of the best for that. There's a real edge to it. That we're constantly on the run looking for resources. It's desperate, and that this episode gets that whole thing off to a great start.
Yes, I think the weakness of Red Dwarf is that it's such an enormous ship. So if you ever needed timeout, you could always just find it, and if you have replicators, you can always just have food to eat.
Yeah.
And there's no real danger to just living on.
Now
Red
we
Dwarf.
have stakes. Also, I mean, this season maybe isn't as character focused, maybe it isn't as deep, but one of the things they took from being in America and trying to do the American version of the show was more of the sort of rapid fire, running gag nature of American sitcoms, and they put that into this season. And again, some people don't like that as much as what it was previously like, but I love that. I mean, not all of those running gags are brilliant, but you have the Space Corps directives, which are fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really love this nature of it when we just get in the cockpit and it's kind of just like a sitcom where we're all just getting on the couch and we're just making jokes and it's just like bang, 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 and it's all just happening. And
Yeah.
So where are you going to put this one?
Look, I'm going to put it in A.
Okay.
Because it's a terrific sci-fi concept, but there is no character stuff apart from what Lister's sexual fantasies. I don't think qualifies.
On the technical level, again, the show's going from strength to strength, and this episode has some of the best split screen work, and it's and incredible set pieces, and when we see that shot of Starbug's leg on location, where they use that forced perspective to make it look like the huge ship is there in camera, and it's incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Now we have Legion, which is actually the best episode of the show. Move Marooned and Back to Reality over. I forgot about this one. Legion is actually my favorite episode of Red Dwarf. I don't think I've ever seen anyone say Legion is their favorite, but it's my favorite. I think this is the funniest episode of Red Dwarf. It does have a great concept. It does have a great sci-fi concept. But at the end of the day, I like Red Dwarf because it's funny. I'm going to rate an episode based on how funny it is. I'm going to forget about all the other stuff, the character and the sci-fi, all that stuff. This is the funniest episode. It does have the overrated moment of the red alert bulb. We're all really sick of that. But it has one of the other funniest moments that is more underrated, the light switch. I couldn't buy it from you. No, I needed to turn the lights on. And Legion is one of the greatest guest star performances.
Yep.
It's fantastic. And yeah.
So So from a philosophical point of view, one of the things that always gets brought up with the discussion with religion is the concept of heaven, where you get everything you want all the time, and the idea that this would be incredibly boring. Total bliss and happiness all the time is boring. The point of happiness is that it's a struggle to get it. You have to work hard to get it. And so everyone becomes guests under Legion, and they get everything they want, and yet it feels kind of empty and hollow.
They don't really make much of the philosophy of that concept, though. That's not really much of it.
But when Legion makes them the offer, you could just stay here. You'll have everything you'll ever want. You just need to stay in this resort. And everyone's like, nah, I'm out of here, man. It's fascinating that people want the freedom to choose rather than total pleasure and bliss all the time.
Yeah. But another one of the funniest scenes. Number one position. Another one of the funniest scenes with the tongs, with the
Yes. It's a big feature on the Smeg Ups.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible. Then we have Gunman of the Apocalypse, which is the Emmy Award-winning episode, so it must be magnificent.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's meant to be a Crichton episode, and yet the other three boys are the ones who get to do most of the fun stuff.
I guess so. Yeah. But this is magnificent. Trying to pull off a western in Kent, in muddy, wet Kent, and they do it pretty magnificently.
We tried to do the beach.
This came off better than the beach in real. Do you love this episode?
It's very fun.
Yeah.
It's very fun. It's kind of...
Well, this is the fun season.
Yeah, yes.
But again, it's just fun, but it's also dangerous, because again, there are high stakes going with the simulants in this episode and the situation and everything. This season is a mixture of being so much fun and also so scary. So then we have, now this is a bit of a weak one. We have Emo Hawk Polymorph 2.
Oh dear.
Or Polymorph 2 Emo Hawk 1.
Yeah.
So this is a sequel to Polymorph. And it's not quite as good as Polymorph, but it's also, for some reason, a sequel to Back to Reality, bringing back Dwayne Dibley. But it's also, for some reason, a sequel to Dimension Jump, because we bring back Ace Rimmer. And those are possibly some questionable choices.
Clip show.
It's a clip show. It's not good as any of the things it's a sequel to. It's kind of less than the sum of its parts, but it does have an incredible first act. And the second act is pretty incredible too. It really falls apart in the third act, which is when everything starts to happen. That's when Dwayne and Ace appear. They don't appear till right near the end, and the Emo Hawk doesn't attack us till right near the end. It's odd. All the main features of the episode don't show up till near the end. But the Gelf tribe, meeting the Gelf tribe, Lister being Lister's bride, and the handshake. And Crane does the handshake. It has some magnificent moments. So I don't want to be too harsh on it, but it does kind of feel like maybe one of the weakest episodes since the early days.
Yeah. It's really weak because it, like you said, it's just
it feels a little desperate.
The best of Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
but it still has lots of really funny moments. So not that bad. I guess. Like whenever I watch it, I think like it's not as bad as it is in my memory. It ends quite badly, so you sort of remember it. You remember the ending more.
Okay.
This is another one that also gets people think this one is pretty bad, and it's kind of doing Terraform again. But I love this episode. It's magnificent. It doesn't have any of the nuance of Terraform or of Series 5, but and in delving into Rimmer's psyche, it's all been done before, but. It's just such a funny episode. It has one of the greatest ever gags. In a pinch, we could use the teleporter. I think that gag alone gets you into at least B category. I mean, there's loads of fun stuff in this one.
Yeah. There's nothing really new that we learn about.
There's nothing
Rimmers.
really new. But again, that's not what this season is about. But it's just, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we have Out of Time.
Here we go. The ending of the show.
This is the last episode of Red Dwarf. There wasn't any more after this, and nor should there have been, because this is the greatest finale you could hope to have for a sitcom. It ends with everybody dying. How many sitcoms can attest to that?
It's a continuation of the themes of Back to Reality.
Yeah?
Of finding out that actually you're a bad person. That all of this time you thought that you were a good person, and then it's all a lie, and you're like, no, I don't want to do this. And the disgust.
That's interesting, actually. I've never heard anyone talk about it like that. Kind of the 2 season finales in a row is kind of it's a sequel to that concept in some ways.
Friends with the Hitlers.
A bit dodgy.
As long as you don't discuss about politics, they're actually very lovely people.
Yeah, no, this is an incredible episode, and especially considering the situation under which it was made, where the episode was being written as they were shooting it in some cases, and Robert Llewellyn is looking at every auto cue on the set and trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, it's a crazy production, a terrible, terrifying production, but the whole thing comes together really well. It's an incredibly disturbing and amazing conclusion to the series, and at the time, for 4 years, it seemed like this was the end of Red Dwarf forever, and it's like, what a way to leave you like that, and it's just the 4 boys again, just talking to themselves, doppelgangers, all of that stuff, and no guest cast, no guest sets. It's all very intimate, and that's just because that was the only thing we could do. But they just make it their strength, and it's
and what a way to go out, where all of them declare that they would rather be dead.
Better dead than Smeg.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a magnificent scene. The music from Howard Goodall, everybody dying. It really, I don't know about you, but that scene always just felt really real to me. It doesn't matter, what happens later. It just feels like now it's a drama. There's no more jokes. This is a proper drama, and I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like when Red Dwarf is dangerous. It's never more dangerous than in this episode.
Yeah. I think its biggest weakness is that it tries to introduce some conflict between Lister and Rimmer, but it's so half-baked that it doesn't come off very strong.
Which bit?
That Lister is just a brain in a jar.
Yeah.
Oh, Listy! Seems you've lost quite a bit of weight.
That's a really funny moment. I love that. You've lost a bit, actually. Yeah, it's S tier definitely, and that's all the Red Dwarf.
That's all the Red Dwarf.
There was never anything else.
There we go.
Yeah, it's and it's look at that, it's amazing. Look how great this show is. There's barely any stinkers.
The ratio of utter classics to that's all right to flunks is amazing. Any sitcom would be so happy for this ratio.
It was an incredible partnership that Rob and Doug had. Those 6 seasons are truly special and unique in British sitcom history. Yeah. There we go.